Welcome.
Leon Scott Kennedy is a character in Resident Evil series, a survival horror game that was created by a Japanese company known as Capcom. Leon debuted as one of the two-player characters of Resident Evil 2, alongside Claire Redfield. During the events of Resident Evil 2, Leon is a rookie police officer who arrives in the doomed Raccoon City late to his first day on the job. For him to be later confronted by a zombie outbreak. During the course of the game, he teams up with a civilian survivor named Claire Redfield, sister to the well-known Chris Redfield from the first game. Alongside Claire, Leon rescues a young Sherry Birkin, also aided by Ada Wong. Leon had finished graduating from the police academy in 1998, where he had grown a fascination with the increasing crime rate in Raccoon City. The city had put out a call for increased police force presence due to rising crime levels and a series of bizarre murders. So Leon applied and was accepted. He visited the station and received a basic introduction, then drove home in anticipation for his first day on the job. So before the events of Resident Evil 1, there was a whole bunch of hikers going missing in the Arkaly Mountains. They were found dead, but mauled to death, or either they're found eviscerated by an unknown assailant. So due to that piqued the interest within the Raccoon Police Department stars, and Leon also had an interest in investigating what's going on, hence why he became a police officer, which I honestly didn't know about until I started reading up on Leon's backstory and whatnot. The night before, Leon was scheduled to begin working for the R.P.D. when he suddenly broke up with his girlfriend. He got drunk at a party afterwards and overslept, which is why he was late to his first day on the job. Being late, however, served to be a blessing, so he didn't die during the initial fall of Raccoon City. So when he first arrived at the diner alongside Claire Redfield, he started to realize that everybody's not normal and actually everybody is zombified. That's when the events of Resident Evil 2 begins to take place. The city descended into chaos. A media blackout was instituted, so he had no idea what was going on until he drove into the city. All of the checkpoints in the area were blocked by military, so nobody could get in or out. One thing to note is that Capcom eventually would retcon Leon's backstory and just add in the fact that he got drunk and was going through a breakup with his ex-girlfriend. Once Leon would arrive in Raccoon City, he would soon to discover that the city is under complete military lockdown due to release of a biological organic weapon. He meets Claire Redfield, who is searching for her brother, Chris, another central protagonist in Resident Evil series. Leon and Claire split up to look for survivors and agree to meet later at the police station. Leon's journey in Resident Evil 2 was a harrowing one, as he would fight through hordes of zombies and other monsters to uncover the truth behind the outbreak. As Leon journeys to and through, and as well as underneath the Raccoon City police station, he begins to discover a massive conspiracy that leads to the pharmaceutical corporation known as Umbrella. He also encounters Ada Wong, who supposedly dies fighting the tyrant during the course of Resident Evil 2. Ada actually survives somehow. They don't ever explain that, but she becomes a major player as a Resident Evil 4. Leon's discovery that Umbrella is behind the destruction of Raccoon City is actually what sends him down the path we would see in later games. After he and Claire escape from the ruins of the city, he vows to hunt down those responsible and stop Umbrella for whatever they are planning with their bio-organic weapons. After events of Raccoon City, Leon joins a secret task force called the Anti-Umbrella Pursuit and Investigation Team. He excels at his training and remains focused on battling Umbrella and stopping the bioweapons they manufactured. The team was actually created to respond to what happened in Raccoon City. As one of the few survivors of that massive outbreak, Leon was an obvious choice to join the organization. Leon's team answers directly to the President of the United States. They have top-level security clearance, and they are at the front lines of many bioterrorist attacks, such as very similar to the BSAA. So this group and the BSAA, well, when they were formed, they pretty much worked together. But I don't think the BSAA was created at this point in the timeline. Leon's team is a top-level security clearance, and they are at the front lines of many bioterrorist attacks. If any of them were captured, they were disowned by the organization as well as the USA, as if they never existed. During his training as a special agent, Leon begins to piece together the size of the enemy they are facing in Umbrella. He also learns about Albert Wesker and Ada Wong, and especially that Ada might have survived the Raccoon City incident. One of his first missions Leon takes on as a member of the anti-Umbrella pursuit and investigation team is codenamed Operation Javier, where he will meet his squad leader Jack Krauser. During the events of Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles, him and Jack Krauser are sent to South America to investigate a drug kingpin known as Javier Hidalgo. Hidalgo has been in contact with former Umbrella scientists and is suspected of purchasing bioorganic agents from him. Leon and Jack are sent to discover the truth and save the day. Leon would soon encounter Javier's daughter, known as Manuela, and realizes she might be the key to curing some of the bioagents that have been plaguing the area. However, he is attacked by Javier, who is infected himself with the T. Veronica virus and merged with the local plant life to become a huge monster. Due to the warm and humid climate and the unique biochemistry of the Veronica complex, that Javier becomes this foe, threatens to infect the entire Amazon rainforest unless Leon can stop it. Leon, alongside Manuela and Jack Krauser, eventually destroy the creature, unaware that Albert Wesker has been observing the fight all along. 6 years later, after the Raccoon City incident, Leon S. Kennedy returns as a U.S. agent to rescue Ashley Graham, the president's daughter. The secret cult known as the Los Illuminados have kidnapped Ashley and is holding her captive for some unknown reasons. The Los Illuminados is holding Ashley Graham in a small Spanish-side country near the mountains. Once Leon touched down in Spain, he would meet up with 2 Spanish officers. They would begin descent on this Spanish village location to try and locate the president's daughter, unknowingly walking into the enemy's trap. Once Leon discovers one of the villagers, he'll know that something's not right, and he's affected as well as the other villagers with this parasite called Las Plagas. During his mission on finding the president's daughter, Leon would eventually learn that his former partner from Operation Javier, Jack Krauser, actually is working for Albert Wesker and aiding Los Illuminados to gain a sample of the Las Plagas and to bring it back to Wesker alongside with Ada. Unbeknownst to Leon, Jack Krauser was the actual person who kidnapped Ashley from the White House. Leon would soon encounter Ada, who believed to be dead during the events of the Raccoon City incident, is shocked to find out that she actually indeed survived and now is working alongside Jack Krauser and Wesker. Eventually, Leon would take out the leader of the Los Illuminados known as Sadler, and he would take out Jack Krauser as well, bringing Ashley home safe from enemy's hands. Once Leon leaves from Europe and his battle with the Illuminados, he is set to Harvardville, a small city in the United States, to deal with a bioterrorist attack on the airport. These events occur as the plot of the animated film Resident Evil Degeneration. At the airport, Leon encounters Claire Redfield, who now works with the human rights organization TerraSave. As events unfold, it is eventually revealed that the owner of another evil pharmaceutical company is there of any kind. Will Pharma is causing attacks so that they can make a huge profit selling vaccines for the T virus and the G virus. Leon thwarts Frederick Downing, the head of the Will Pharma and former Umbrella researcher, and eventually he is arrested for his crimes. Downing had been using his position to gain contacts who may be interested in buying T viruses to use as bioweapons. Set between events of Resident Evil 4 and 5, the series known as Resident Evil Infinite Darkness takes place in 2006 after a hacking incident is uncovered at the White House. Leon Scott Kennedy is ordered to investigate the incident, but he encounters zombies when the White House is targeted in a mysterious attack. He later meets Claire Redfield, who has been investigating a strange drawing made by a child refugee while working on a terrorist-led mission to oversee constructions of a welfare facility. Leon would return in a direct sequel to The Generation, Resident Evil Damnation. This animated film sees Leon back to Europe. He must venture to Eastern Slav Republic to investigate claims that bioweapons are indeed being used in the country's civil war. Damnation also serves as a prequel to Resident Evil 6. It even shows gameplay clips of Resident Evil 6 during this end-credit sequence. Leon discovers that there are a massive amount of bioweapons being used in Eastern Slav Republic, and he suspects Ada Wong is responsible. Due to her betrayal in Resident Evil 4, he soon discovered that the president of the Eastern Republic, I can't even pronounce that name, but I'm going to just put it on the screen. But she is using tyrants and lost pluggers to maintain her control over the war-torn country. Just as Leon thinks he is done for, he's about to engage in a knife fight with the tyrants because apparently bullets are in short supply in the movies too. A joint force of troops from the United States and Russia intervene in the Civil War, and Leon is rescued, and this lady is forced to step down. During the events of Resident Evil 6, Leon is forced to shoot the President of the United States, who has been infected with the C virus, carried by a creature called a leprotica. I can't even pronounce that right. Either way, this is especially heartbreaking for Leon, as the President Adam Benford is also the man who originally recruited Leon to join the anti-Umbrella task force in the first place. I must make a side note that Adam Benford is not Ashley Graham's father. That was a different president. Leon and Helena make their way through Tall Oaks Cathedral, where they encounter a terrifying experiment in the catacombs. They discover that the attack was orchestrated by Derek Simmons, who had been President Benford's national security advisor. He was also a member of a secret society called the Family. After Leon and Helena escape from the church, Simmons orders destruction of Tall Oaks and frames Leon as the mastermind who started the attack and assassinated the president. Simmons flees to China while Leon and Helena must regroup and come up with a plan. After all, they are now wanted criminals. Leon and Helena are now on their way to Lansing, China, while being wanted criminals for the president's assassination. The two fake their deaths so they can follow Simmons to China and end his threat to the world, and clear their names when they arrive to Lansing. They discover that Simmons has also started another bioweapon outbreak. And of course, Leon encounters Sherry Birkin, the girl that him and Claire rescued during the events of Resident Evil 2, is now an adult and is herself became a federal agent. Leon works together with his companions to track down Simmons, who infects himself with the C virus to battle the federal agents. Leon, Helena, and the rest battle Simmons through many mutations, and eventually Leon would finish him off with a well-placed shot from a rocket launcher in classic Resident Evil style. Ada Wong had once again reappears and crosses Leon's path, but she is nowhere to be found. When Leon boards her helicopter after the battle with Simmons, he flies away from Lansing as his portion of Resident Evil 6 comes to a close. Leon would eventually return in Resident Evil Vendetta, which takes place after the events of Resident Evil 6. He returns to duty following his next mission in Washington, D.C. and is traumatized. The event pushes Leon over the brink, and his team is hunting down a group of bioweapons when the mission goes horribly wrong. His entire team is infected and killed, and Leon himself has to travel to the morgue and execute each of his former squad mates as they turn up into mindless killing machines. He is barely able to cope and takes a leave of absence to figure out his situation. Instead, he spends time drinking and trying to forget his pain. This is where Chris Redfield finds him. Chris recruits Leon to investigate a new series of bioweapon attacks. Leon reluctantly agrees, but he's starting to get jaded. Leon continues to question the point of fighting what he feels like is a futile war against bioterrorists. In all honesty, it's kind of like a reverse situation. Like, Leon is going through what Chris went through at the beginning of Resident Evil 6 when Chris lost his whole squad, and he resorted to drinking and trying to forget his past. The only difference is that Chris actually lost his memory. Chris got attacked and fell and hit his head. He lost all of his memory until Piers Niven's reminded him of the past and what had happened. Leon and Chris head to New York City, where Glenn Arias is planning a massive bioweapon attack that will trigger a massive airborne virus. Arias has been accumulating bioweapon technology from various corporations that Leon had been tracking down, eventually amassing a noteworthy collection that he had hoped to use to seize global power. Leon and Chris battle through Arias' creations, eventually coming face to face with the mastermind himself. Arias, of course, infects himself and manages to get the upper hand in a one-on-one fight with Chris. Leon comes to the rescue, crashing his motorcycle into a mutated Arias, where an explosion nearly kills the monster. Chris finishes Arias off with a grenade launcher, and after the battle, Leon continues to question his commitment to the battle on bioterrorism, as he sees it as a battle he could never truly win. Chris encouraged him to never plan that far ahead, and just to continue fighting whatever is directly in front of him. And that's a little history and an up-to-date version of what's going on in the current events of Leon Scott Kennedy. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to drop that like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. I will do more videos like this on other Resident Evil characters throughout the series, and I'll even have under the playlist called Lore.